Okay. All right. One word I forgot to write on here that the Rockefellers are also heavily invested into is art. So on the final snake tongue, I'm writing art. David Rockefeller, at the time of his death, he was the honorary chairman of MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York. His family basically founded MoMA, and of all of David Rockefeller's investments, it is said that art was the one investment that he was invested into that he got the biggest return on. For example, he bought a Mark Rothko painting back in 1960 for $8,000 and then resold it at Christie's auction, I believe it was in 2007, for over $73 million. And you could probably guess how much of that money went back to the Rothko family. Big zero. I'm almost sure of it. And so, this video, I'm going to talk about all the different snake tongues that are on here and the different sort of investment things that the Rockefellers are involved in. I'm going to talk about William Avery Rockefeller, and I guess that'll be it for this video. Here's one you can't hardly see from the ground, but one of them is explosives. That's another thing that they're invested into, because one fun fact over here, let me show you, all of the oil corporations written on this elephant are all subsidiaries of the original Standard. Zeta. One moment, I'll be right back. Okay. Over here though, this is my little benefactor of the elephant. If we were ever going to sell this elephant, I was hoping, and if it were to be resold, we were wanting to do it at contract, and maybe say in another 10 years or 20 years, or whenever it was resold, I was hoping to split those profits with whoever originally bought this, and my friend Kyle and I, and Zeta here would be the benefactor of it. And so she's getting a little fussy, so I guess she's going to be with us in this video. Alright, so some of the other things that the Rockefellers are invested into, of course, it started with oil and gas, fossil fuels, energy then. From that, they got involved in the military-industrial complex, funding war. They also got involved in the United States Steel Corporation, so they're involved in steel. Also got involved with railroads through different marriages they had with the Stillman family and so on. Philanthropy was the big thing that they got involved into that gave them so much power to control so much of the world through conditional grants. Their conditional grants they give, and on here are written about 10 or more of their family philanthropies. They give out conditional grants to all sorts of different things that affect public policy. They're involved in finance, weapons. Up here though, it says snake oil. Back in the day, William Avery Rockefeller, he was a snake oil salesman, and it said that it was a mixture of petroleum and a laxative, and he called himself a celebrated cancer specialist. But it's known that if you eat petroleum, it'll cause cancer, and you might think that, oh my gosh, that sounds awful, but to this very day, this practice is still going on. I don't know if you've heard of yellow 40 or, yellow 5, red 40, or blue 1, but those are artificial food colors, and those are all petroleum-based food colors, and they put them in Skittles, M&Ms, Sprees, Starburst, Gatorade. Anytime you see a bright, vivid color, you're eating petroleum, and it causes cancers, tumors, all kinds of bad health effects. I'm going to make sure this little child never eats that if I can help it, but you know, it's going to be really hard because they're so vibrant and attractive, and people are really into it. So I just want to tell you all that to warn you, stay away from red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1 if you can. But other things, of course, they're invested into it. So it's hard to say they're invested in cancer, but cancer is definitely a cause of one of their medicines, or William Avery Rockefeller's medicine, his elixir. He called it a cure-all, but it really caused cancer. It wasn't really a medicine. But the Rockefellers have been involved with Rockefeller University in the medical industry, and they really pushed holistic medicine to the sidelines and made patentable medicine for profit, the premier thing that we use today for healing purposes. But anyway, they're also involved in banking through Citibank. JP Morgan Chase is the Rockefeller Bank. They've gotten involved in education through their conditional grants that they give to think tanks to help write public policy and other things that are handed on down. They call it international understanding, but I call it foreign policy is what they've really gotten involved into. Also local politics through economic development councils and so on. They basically invented that term. They're also involved in media. 3 of the big 6 major media corporations are located in the Rockefeller Center. So pharmaceuticals, they've gotten involved in that. Industrial agriculture, their grant from the Rockefeller Foundation funded the Green Revolution back in the 40s that put in this industrial agriculture system that we have all across Illinois anyway, where I'm from. So they're involved in petrochemicals, of course. And so I guess that pretty much sums up the tongues and the things that the Rockefellers are involved in, and kind of also coming back to the beginning to explain why I wanted this elephant sold at contract, but it hasn't been sold yet for whatever reason. Mainly, well, I care not to speculate in this video on that, but maybe the next one I will. Anyway, my auction is over now, and I don't know if I'll ever sell this thing or if I'll ever make my way to the White House, but if I ever get a chance, I would like to do something to help make the world a better place for children and men and women across the world. Okay, Zeta says we're done, so we're out. Thank you for watching.